Hey, how are you today? Tash Manzetti, Discovery Coach and Mentor, jumping on to share a little conversation about overthinking. Now, I often joke that I have a PhD in fear and resistance, and if that's the case, then I probably have a similar PhD in overthinking as well. I think they're all closely related. I used to think that I would, create a group called Overthinkers Anonymous, and I would lead that group because I would have so much insight into the overthinking process, why we go through it, and how we can overcome it. Now, this has come up a few times this week for me and for some other clients that I've been working with. So I thought it was worthy of me jumping in and sharing some ideas with you. So with overthinking, if you're coming on to watch the replay, let me know that you're here and let me know if you can resonate with the overthinking trap and the fact that we do get sucked into it more often than we probably care to admit. And it's only once we get like that we recognize that we're going through the overthinking spiral that we snap out of it and do something about it. So let me know as you're jumping on who's here. So why do we, Dora, hello. Overthinking, are you guilty of it? Let me know, because I know I am completely guilty of all the time. And Kate's here, awesome. Overthinking is something that I do again and again and again and again. And it's only when I start to realize that I'm going down that trap and going down that rabbit hole of trying to figure out too many steps ahead that I can acknowledge that and pull myself out of it. Because when we get into the overthinking mode, we create so many problems that don't exist. We create so many stories that will never actually happen. So I saw a quote the other day, and I'll find it and post it in the group after. I have 99 problems and 86 of them are all things that I've made up and will never actually come true, something to that effect. And I think it's so true, because when I help people with momentum, when I help people just go and do the next thing they need to do in their business, when I help them figure out what the direction is they want to take, they're trying to think too far in the future and they're stuck on what the bigger vision is, and they're overthinking all the things that they want to do. They're overthinking the hows, all the bloody hows of how they're going to actually do the things, how they're going to get there, how they're going to create the thing, how they're going to come up with that, how they're going to learn this. And it kills the moment. Like if you get a snap of inspiration and you want to do something and it excites you and you're really curious about it, then you need to start taking steps into that before you get stuck in the spiral of overthinking. So you get this really great idea, it's amazing, you're excited by it, you get butterflies, you're like, oh my God, yes, this is what I want to do. And then 2 hours later, you've done absolutely nothing, and you've got this spiral of stories going on as to, well, I'm not ready, and I don't know how to do that, and I'm not sure I'll reach enough people, and all the things, right? And you're stuck in that overthinking spiral that's not going to get you anywhere except stuck. It's like you're digging yourself deeper into the quicksand that's going to just keep you stuck and solid, and you're not going to move anywhere. So instead, when you're overthinking, I want you to think big, get the idea, and what's one action step you can take towards it, because action will help you eradicate the overthinking. Action will start to give you the answers that you need to step into the idea that you have and to start to answer the million questions that you're trying to figure out in your head instead of through momentum. So yeah, a ton of things that you could do. So give me some examples of something you're overthinking right now, Dora and Kate. Let me know what's going on. What are you spinning around on? What's an idea that you've had and you've gone around and around and around and you haven't done anything with it? So this comes up a lot for me when I try and create opt-ins or different things that I can put out there, different types of content. I will overthink them to the point that I want to give so much value and I want to help people so much that I can never stop at one little simple idea. I want to create the 10 different things that go with that. And I want it to be the full experience for people, instead of saying what's one quick win I can give them right now to help them take that next step in their journey. And this was happening for me again today. So this has prompted this video. So Dora, you're saying doing a logo reveal video. I have heard you talk about this for quite a few months now. Yeah, so it's been on your list for 3 months. So Dora, for your logo reveal, you want to do something amazing. You want to do, it's great. It's exciting. That's awesome. But what's stopping you? Sometimes the overthinking is a sign of fear and resistance because you are launching into something new. So when you do your big logo launch, it's showing up and stating to the world that you are serious about your business, that you have something to offer, that you treasure the work that you do, and that can be bloody terrifying. So what you've done is you've created this overthinking loop around the logo. Well, I can't take all these other steps until I've done my logo reveal, and I don't know the 27 questions or answers to the 27 questions I have, so I'm just going to stay here in small and keep really still. So I want you to take one action step today that's going to move you forward on the logo reveal. So have you got a list of things you're thinking about and maybe looking for answers on? Have you got a list of ideas? Are you just stuck in the idea phase? Like, where are you at? What's one small step that you can take to push through that overthinking and actually get you into action? So Kate's going, I've been overthinking how to scale my idea when I haven't even got the idea released. Yep, jackpot, nailed it. Gold star. That's the thing. We overthink it. We take ourselves too far into the future instead of harnessing that amazing feeling that we got with the original idea, instead of just sharing version 1 of what that is, even with one person, even with 2 people, even with 5 people. Like, we all talk about scale and we all talk about leverage and helping the masses, and that's amazing. But unless we know that we can help 1 person, 2 people, 2 persons, 3 people, and find out how we can make it even better and then even better and even better, we don't do anything with it. So what you need to do is you need to just test the idea, get the feedback that you need, and make it even better the next time. We can't perfect what we don't start, okay? And you don't want to launch something half-assed to millions of people. You want to know that it's tried and true and have confidence that you're going to get results, or you're going to get that people want the thing that you're going to release. Yeah, I have to pick from 4 videos. Okay, so when are you going to do that, Dora? Like, are the 4 videos something that someone else has created and that you have to then decide which one sits with you and which one feels best for you? When are you going to make a decision? Put a deadline on it. What's the next little step and what's the deadline? Because sometimes just the simple fact of having a deadline will stop us and pull us out of the overthinking spiral. So Kate, you're saying being talked to others to outsource the work, and I haven't even got an official client yet. That's okay. You could still have the conversations. You could still be planning ahead, but you also need to test the idea. You also need to, and testing the idea, even though you say that you know it's a great idea and you say it's going to help a lot of people, there's still that voice of doubt behind us until we've had people go through it, use it, create with it, whatever the thing is. Until we get that validation from someone else outside of us, our confidence is going to be a little bit shaky around the idea. So you need to get it out to someone, to a small group, even a small private group, to test the idea. So before you go and invest a heap of time and money and energy into something that may need to be tweaked, or that, might have missed the mark slightly. Because again, your version 1 will never be perfect. So Dora's going to make her decision tonight. I'm going to follow up with you, Dora, because this logo thing has been going on for a while and we all do it. I have a ton of projects that have been going on for way too long because I got back into overthinking. I was trying to think too far into the future instead of just showing up and helping people now with what I have. Yes, we all want to get bigger. Yes, we all want to get better. Yes, we all want to help a ton of people. But sitting there overthinking the idea and helping no one is not helping you reach your goal. It's actually probably killing your confidence, and it's making the doubt a little bit stronger. It's like feeding the gremlins. Like, the more you overthink it, so every time you overthink something, every time you come up with a new scenario or a new what if, think of that like shoving a Krispy Kreme into the gremlin's mouth. It's just getting bigger and fatter and fatter and fatter as you go. Oh my God, now I want a Krispy Kreme donut. So every time you take another thought forward without taking action on what you have today, think of that Krispy Kreme just going to that gremlin's mouth, just feeding the mind chip, feeding the gremlins to say, you're not ready, it's not good enough. So, okay, so Kate's saying you did get the headshots done yesterday. Awesome. So closer to revealing your website, then get a client and then outsource. Right. So you've got your steps, you've got the headshots done. That's awesome. That came up a few weeks back from a video we did because I told you to go make the call and you got them done. That's awesome. And yeah, I can't wait to see the website. Have you been telling people what your idea is, or have you kept it completely hidden until you go live? Because it's okay when you are launching a new idea, when you're launching a new site, it's okay to tease people beforehand. It's okay to share bits of the idea before the big reveal. It actually builds the anticipation. It's got people invested with you on the journey. So when you do launch, you have a reaction. There's a response waiting for you. There's not just crickets. Nothing is more heartbreaking than you work on something so viciously and it means so much to you, but you've done it so privately that you finally come to that day where you launch and there's crickets and it's heartbreaking. So I really want you to just tell people what you're doing, work on the things, get your ideas out there, even with a small group of people. So when you do launch, when you do take the next step, you have people there invested with you as you go. Okay, awesome. So you've got people on board and they're keeping you honest. Again, we can't, if we do this stuff alone, if we don't tell anyone about what we're doing, if we don't have someone to keep us accountable, then we will completely justify all of our excuses as to why we can't do the thing right now. Totally. I do it all the time. So even though I help people through this, even though I share what these gremlins are, that we overthink, that we do all the things, it doesn't mean I'm cured. It doesn't mean that I don't do them. It just means I'm much more aware of them. I'm much more aware of why they're coming up, and I'm much more able to acknowledge them and move through them, and work out all the habit loops and the beliefs behind them to help people see how they can move through them, if that makes sense. That's a long-winded way of saying it. So yeah, I just want to bring your awareness to your overthinking. I want you to acknowledge that that's what's happening. So if you are trying to think too far into the future, and not just start talking about your idea, not just do the next little step, I want you to pull back, set yourself a deadline, get someone to keep you accountable, and take the next small step into the idea. And then you can take the next small step and the next small step. You know, I always say I've got this philosophy about thinking big and starting small. So what's the big idea? What's the big vision? That's fine. But if you get caught overthinking what all the pieces are up here and how it's going to look like and how you're going to get there and what it's going to mean, then you're going to stay in fairyland. You're not going to get anything done. You need to come back down the mountain a little bit and say, what's the next little step I'm going to take? And what's the next little step? And then what's the next little step? And it's amazing when you start stepping into the idea, you will see things that are not in your reality right now. You will see opportunities. You will see ways you can improve it. And they're things you can't figure out in your head. They're things you can't figure out logically, trying to work through that in your mind before you tell anyone about it. I've just made some notes over here. So did I cover everything? Yeah. You know, your version 1 will never be perfect. Don't let that stop you from launching. I think one of the comments that really stood out for me at the We Are podcast conference that I went to recently, Nathan Chan from Founder said that one of his mentors said, if you're not embarrassed by version 1, you launch too late. And that is so true, because yes, we want things to be perfect. Yes, we want to make a good impression. Yes, we want to show up as professional and, you know, having some idea about what we're doing. But that can be the best excuse ever for never to start. So, Dora, I want you to make a decision tonight. I want you to share with me, send me a message, post in this thread, whatever you want to do. Send me an email, share with me what the decision's been made, and let me know what your next step is after that. Because, hey, Nikki, how are you? I've just been going through and talking through the overthinking scenarios that we all go through, how we try and perfect everything in our mind instead of taking the small little steps into the idea that will help us figure out the answers that we're looking for. And that, you know, if you have 99 problems, 86 of them are probably things that will never exist. They're just shit you've made up to keep you safe and keep you small and stop you from doing the things that you really want to do, but that also terrify you. Yeah, catch the replay. I'm just wrapping up now, so be sure to catch the replay. I'm sure you've got a dozen other things have been happening in your day today. I had a quick break in my schedule, so I thought, oh, I'm going to jump on and talk about overthinking, because I know that everyone is guilty of it. I know that, you know, if I do start up the group Overthinkers Anonymous, I think I would get a huge influx of people, because it's all something that we deal with. It's all something that stops us from doing the things we want to do. And I want to help people beat that addiction. I want to help them stop the overthinking and master their ideas and master taking action on their ideas, so they can go and live the life they want, so they can take a break when they want, so they can be happy and content with the work that they do and not sit there miserable overthinking the next 27,000 steps they're going to take, instead of just taking 1 or 2 small ones and going and rewarding themselves with an afternoon off or whatever it is that thing is that you're going to do. So I'm going to go make a cup of tea because I haven't had one all morning, and I realise I really feel like one right now. So I hope that's helped. Dora and Kate, thank you for jumping on. Nikki, be sure to go back and watch the replay. Anyone else coming in to watch the replay, I want you to tell me in the comments if this resonates with you. What are you overthinking today? So let me know. Could be 20 things, but what's one thing? Be honest and open about one thing that you are stuck in overthinking on. Tell me the next step you're going to take, and tell me when the deadline is so I can follow up with you and help you get that done. All right, I'm off to make my tea, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.